Check out this comment I got on my video. iStorms X. You said, the truth, it is not a Xbox. What you're referring to is the Rogue Xbox Ally X, which in this video, I show you that the designers and the engineers refer to it as an Xbox, right? I show you where the Asus engineers refer to it as an Xbox console, where the AMD engineers refer to it as as a device that they built together. And also the engineers and the people who are working in tandem at the Xbox side also refer to it as a console. Some even in this video refer to it as a handheld PC. It's a combination of all, because when Asus made their previous device that actually brought them together, which is the Asus ROG Ally X, they called it a handheld console PC. The definition of a console is one that's, for some strange reason, some people are thinking is your Xbox and PlayStation and is relegated to that. It's actually much more. And it takes a whole lot of different, faces that you can actually use. But we'll digress. So I replied to you when you, made that comment. You said, the truth, it's not an Xbox. But then the people who made the device, right? Not just, Microsoft themselves, Asus themselves say it's an Xbox. Let me go ahead and inform you here. So listen to this particular missive from this gentleman from Rogue.
About consoles and Xbox.
Hey, let's have Microsoft come in and revamp the software on this, turn it into an Xbox without getting rid of everything that makes Windows great. Let's turn this into a console worthy of the name console, worthy of the name Xbox.
So why don't you take yourself, get on a plane, travel to the Rogue HQ, and get a huge comedy show going by telling them that it's not an Xbox, and watch the engineers and the designers actually laugh in your face. So I replied you in your comment. I said, if truth tapped you on the shoulder, you'd call it a turkey. Now, I was being tongue-in-cheek, and that was a little, of a strange categorization. So you said, okay, silly. Okay, hold on. You think you're so smart. Guys, I don't think I'm smart. I'm only pointing out to you the facts. You cannot get upset with me over the facts. You cannot get upset at the facts. You can either take the facts or prove to yourself that the truth is a turkey. But can't even be real with yourself. How is something that can't play my Xbox console games natively and Xbox handheld? Hold on. How can this PC Xbox app that can't play your Xbox console games be an Xbox app? I'm asking you. Y'all are saying some of the most outlandish things and thinking that somehow you're somewhat going to, derail common sense, common thinking, and logical norms. So because this app, according to you, is not playing your native Xbox console games, shall I then categorize it as not an Xbox app? That's one question I'm asking you. Number two, how is it an Xbox handheld? It's an Xbox handheld because the designers of the handheld were Xbox, AMD, and Asus. In fact, they talk about the merging. Check it out over here, because I made the video for you. It's in the video that I made for you to inform you that you're complaining about, because you're over here complaining that it's not the truth, blah, 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 blah. So
when we were talking to the designers at Asus, they were basically saying, well, our products, they're not round, they're angular chisels and angles. And so this is the new Xbox button shape.
To place the Xbox Nexus on the rhombus is such a beautiful representation of the marriage of the precision, the robustness of Asus's design, and the power of Xbox.
Device.
How do we start with this and add this to make it feel like a combination of Asus and Xbox working together?
If that, from the engineers and the designers, is not able to inform you, then again, truth to you is a turkey. You said, that's the point. As an Xbox gamer, I want to play my Xbox library on the go, every single game I bought, not the BS Microsoft is pushing and has so many goofy people gooning over. I would buy 2 Steam Decks before this because they can do the same thing. My guy, those Steam Decks will play all your Xbox games on the go via cloud streaming, via remote play, or via the PC versions of Play Anywhere. You're literally over here causing your brain to run circles around what you don't need to run circles around. And it's just so funny. That Steam Deck that you even are appealing to, when you actually go ahead and power it on in its Linux-based mode, it's using a layer to make compatible, because let me go ahead and just tell you, the irony is that you mentioned the Steam Deck. So again, I don't know if it's that y'all don't even know what it is you're talking about, or you guys think that somewhere, somehow, you want to, why are you fighting wind? You're an Xbox gamer. Either take the device or don't take the device. Who cares? That's your prerogative. But don't come out here and start thinking that you're going to use Steam as some kind of an own. This Steam that you're seeing over here, it uses a Proton layer to go ahead and play the Windows versions of games that are on Steam. So a translation layer. That's a Proton layer. Proton is the whatchamacallit. Proton is the Linux distro that it actually does run. So if you take your Steam Deck, let me show you something, right? Because I think this is very important to actually go ahead and, convey. For instance, my Steam Deck here right now with Marvel Spider-Man Remastered installed on it. My Steam app with Marvel Spider-Man installed on it has the Windows version on here. That same Windows version is visible on the Steam Deck, but it is not the native Windows version. It's actually being translated, right? It's basically a modified version of that whole thing. Let me show you right here. Check it out. Let me go ahead and get this ready for you. So this version over here, as a purist that you want to be, is not as similar as you think it is. So if I fire this game up and you tell me, well, it's not the Steam version of the game, or it's not the Windows version of the game, you have an argument to make, and you have some kind of a caveat that you can always give. But the caveat leaves you exposed because Xbox is also taking a slightly similar approach that you are complaining against that makes no sense. So this is not a matter of anybody outsmarting anybody. This is just a matter of you not wanting to embrace the truth. If you're waiting for an Xbox handheld that can play your traditional Xbox console games in the sense of your Series S and Series X, then wait, they might go ahead and make something like that. But it makes no sense, as all these games are now basically becoming Play Anywhere. And games like Hogwarts Legacy, which was on your console, now gives you access to taking the game anywhere, because these developers are starting to see, whoa, if we have Play Anywhere, our games are basically as valuable as Xbox's games on their platforms. They're going to come around. They're coming around. They're coming around. They are, because Play Anywhere is a standard with Xbox, and Xbox is basically trying to copy Steam, whom you're trying to go bind a Steam Deck because you're purposefully uninforming yourself. That's where the problem is. It's the Xbox gamers sometimes that shock me with this, where they want to sometimes argue against their own interests. Because now, if you go buy a Steam Deck and you buy Steam versions of those games, you would have spent extra money. Do you see what's going on? And you said it proudly. So maybe you are a fake Xbox player, or you're a high-D PlayStation player trying to pretend like you're a PlayStation player. I don't know. Because it's just funny that a PC gamer has to come and tell you, like, guy, you have the same benefit on your platform. Why would you go ahead and buy a Steam Deck to then rebuy a majority of these games? It's quite the redundancy. I mean, do what you want with your money, but wouldn't that be redundant if you're trying to actually achieve that same thing? So this is why, FJ, when you read this comment, you laughed, because I guess it's almost funny because this is an Xbox user that doesn't actually understand their own ecosystem. And you say, have you still got your console? Then you can stream every game. Many games are on the cloud, around 1,300 Play Anywhere increasing. If you don't have any Play Anywhere titles, you haven't bought any current gen games from Xbox. PS4, PS5 Pro don't play all previous generation games natively. Same with Switch 2. Check compatibility list on your website. By your argument, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo, none of them are really devices from their brand. You said Digital Foundry agrees it's a PC, and so is the Steam Deck that you're going to go buy, right? Two of them, too. To say that, it's so funny that you said this. Like, I don't know how you jumped from Steam Deck to all of this. He said this. So you drop your previous argument? This is FJ basically. This is why we're holding y'all accountable. Y'all's feet is going to be in the fire. The device is an Xbox handheld gaming PC. Digital Foundry said it was a console and a PC and an Xbox. They're all correct. This is a new product from Xbox, meaning console, handheld, PC. The next under the TV Xbox, a year away, will be a console that will run your Xbox games and Steam games and Epic games and other options too. There's no longer a need for a walled garden stopping you from playing any games you want to play. It's going to happen. Xbox is now part of the Windows, operating system. Just because Sony sits in a box and Nintendo sits in a box doesn't mean that everybody has to sit in a box and not innovate. Ladies and gentlemen, I have never seen so many console gamers that love everything that works against their interests. It's astounding to me. This is what you should be demanding. And it's happening right in front of you, and you claim that it's actually bogus. PlayStation gamers don't get anything like this. They got a remote controlled PlayStation is what they got. That's what they got. I'm out. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Peace out.